Open the SEC recruiting rankings today, and you'll see something that would have sounded impossible just a few years ago. Alabama is sitting near the bottom of the conference. For a fan base that spent more than a decade watching Nick Saban turn recruiting into an assembly line for championships, that number feels almost unreal. So has Alabama finally lost its edge? Is this the beginning of the end for college football's greatest dynasty? Or are fans panicking over a scoreboard that no longer measures what it used to? Because what if Alabama's biggest problem isn't recruiting at all? For years, Alabama didn't just dominate college football, it dominated the system behind it. According to data from recruiting services like 247 Sports, Alabama consistently signed some of the best classes in the country during the Saban era. The formula seemed almost unfair: attract elite talent, develop future NFL players, win championships, and repeat. Eventually, success became expectation, and expectations can become a trap. Because dynasties don't collapse when they lose a game. They collapse when the rules that built them stop working. When Nick Saban retired, most people thought Alabama's biggest challenge would be replacing the greatest coach of his generation. It wasn't. The real challenge arrived quietly. While Alabama searched for stability under Kalen DeBoer, college football underwent the biggest economic transformation in its history. The transfer portal exploded. NIL changed recruiting forever. Revenue sharing moved closer to reality, and roster limits rewrote the math of building a team. For decades, powerhouse programs could stockpile talent, sign as many elite prospects as possible, let competition sort itself out, and trust the process. That era is over. Programs now operate with a hard roster limit. Every scholarship matters, every returning player matters, every dollar matters. Recruiting is no longer just about signing players, it's about managing assets, and that changes everything. At first glance, Alabama's position in the rankings feels like proof that something is wrong. Texas A&M is surging. LSU keeps stacking commitments. Ole Miss is winning battles it once had little chance to win. Across the SEC, rivals are spending aggressively and adapting quickly. Meanwhile, Alabama fans are staring at one question: how did this happen? But there's a detail hiding in plain sight. Recruiting rankings reward volume. The more players you sign, the more points you accumulate. And Alabama isn't expected to sign a large class this cycle. Why? Because fewer players are leaving. Many key contributors are returning. Several NFL prospects could choose another season instead of entering the draft. Nothing is guaranteed, of course. Rumors and speculation always surround programs like Alabama. Every offseason brings whispers about possible transfers, surprise departures, or unexpected NIL deals. But as of now, the reality is simple. There aren't many open spots. And fewer open spots create smaller recruiting classes. Suddenly, a lower ranking doesn't necessarily mean a weaker roster. In fact, the opposite can be true. A program returning most of its core players may appear to be struggling in recruiting while actually entering the season stronger than ever. That's the paradox. Fans are using old measurements to judge a new game. For years, a top recruiting class meant everything was fine. Anything lower felt like failure. But in modern college football, retaining elite players may matter more than signing new ones. Think about it. Would you rather sign a massive freshman class while losing proven stars, or keep your best players and add only the pieces you truly need? The rankings can't answer that question, and that's why panic spreads so quickly, because uncertainty creates fear, especially at Alabama. No program in the sport is compared more heavily to its own past. Every recruiting cycle is measured against the Saban era. Every ranking becomes a referendum on Kalen DeBoer. Every missed commitment feels bigger. But there is another side to this story. Even if the rankings are misleading, the threat is real. The SEC has never been more competitive. Programs that once chased Alabama are now building systems designed specifically for this new era. Some are spending more aggressively, others are embracing the transfer portal faster, and some appear willing to take bigger risks. Could Alabama be too cautious? Could a program built on long-term development struggle in a sport increasingly driven by short-term decisions? It's too early to know, but it's a question worth asking. Take offensive line target Antonio Barry. Reports suggest Alabama remains heavily involved in his recruitment, but the program isn't expected to overspend. Not because it lacks resources, because resources are finite. Every recruiting win now comes with a trade-off. Spend heavily in one position group, and you may limit your flexibility elsewhere. This isn't the old world of college football. Coaches are no longer just recruiters, they're roster managers, budget planners, negotiators, strategists. Nick Saban mastered the old system. Kalen DeBoer must master a completely different one. And maybe that's the real story behind Alabama's ranking. Not the end of a dynasty, the beginning of a reinvention. Because dynasties don't survive by repeating the past. They survive by adapting faster than everyone else. The programs that dominate the next decade won't necessarily sign the biggest classes. They'll be the ones that understand the new rules before anyone else. So is Alabama's recruiting dynasty over? Maybe not, but the definition of a recruiting dynasty certainly is. And if Alabama, the program that defined modern college football, is being forced to adapt, what does that mean for everyone else? What do you think? Are Alabama fans overreacting to the rankings, or are these the first signs that the sport's biggest power is entering a new era? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe if you want more deep dives into the hidden forces shaping college football. And if you think this story is big, wait until you see what NIL and revenue sharing could do to the rest of the SEC.